sauce, so you just put water in?
No, I used to food prep, do salad, food preps in the mason jars.
We're going live, y'all. Right. That's your face.
You're now tuning into the Monday Midsole with your co-host, Molly Mall,
That's not true.
Polos and
It's the
Jay,
people's grant.
Unboxed App, and Buckeye City Soul. Powered by the usual suspects. It's the Monday Midsole. Let's go.
Yo, what up? It's Monday. Welcome to the Monday Midsole. I am your co-host, Buckeye City Soul. And I think we're live somewhere. I'm not exactly sure on which thumbnail, but there's probably 3 or 4 of them. Hopefully you found the right one. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on up to the old dude with the lace front beard.
Wow.
What's good, fam? It's your boy Polos and Jays. I still don't think we live, but if the man with no hair on his face says we are, then here we are.
I don't know. We might not be.
I don't think so because the chat's not saying anything.
And I didn't get notification.
I thought I got a notification.
I ain't got nothing.
Nope.
Damn it.
Damn, YouTube not letting me be great today.
Oh no. Yeah, we got. Oh, no, never mind. That's not it.
Get it together.
I'm asking, like, can y'all see us?
No, we're not.
We're not.
Oh, no.
I'm on my phone.
All right, hold on.
Jock, what do you think?
I don't know why
Something
we
like
have
this
these issues. Yeah,
Huh?
we never have these issues.
Yeah,
What?
We haven't had issues like this, well, last week we kind of did.
No, it was quick.
But it
Jock-
was like a minute or two.
Jock, what's going on, man? You know, sabotage the. Wait.
I don't even know what's happening. I'm trying to,
We don't either.
Wait,
I'm
you know what's
trying to
funny? Now Jock disappeared on my screen. He ain't even there until
I
he
see
talks.
him.
I see him when he talks, but he's not in the windows no more.
Because you got to put it on with the.
You got a different
grid.
setting.
yeah, I had the grid. Mine was like that too. I couldn't see Polo. He was like super thin, but I could see everybody else when it was
you
just
know
like
that
one
was-
person and it was with
Yeah,
person to person.
he's like, damn, I know
He's-
how to fuck something
He saw
up.
me how I really am. Super thin.
It's like, oh yeah, like what is this? Like the reverse shallow how?
Oh, man.
Y'all all be ashamed of yourself doing senior citizens like y'all are tonight. Just, I mean, right.
Man.
All right.
Whatever.
So the link I should be using for the live stream is the one that you sent me in the email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're
like,
all-
this is
yeah.
like
We're all
the
on the
hub,
right
and then
one.
we
It's
just
just
push it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
No, I mean the one on YouTube. So if I want to share it with somebody, that's the one.
Oh, right.
Like,
Oh.
Twitter.
Yeah, well, we don't know yet because it's not wanting to go in the right way. Like I created a new one.
Somebody just gave $5.
Damn. For the producer fees.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm so sorry.
We might still be live. I mean, we might be somewhere.
We live somewhere like Belgium.
I know we'll ask who's in Belgium.
Wow.
Hold on, let me.
Ario.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hold on a second. Let me, just in case it. I'm gonna black the screen out so I can see what is the deal.
Fucked up the court.
Privacy. Oh, that's what happened.
And
Uh-oh.
I got it. We were live somewhere.
Okay.
all right, she the technician.
Somebody's stomach. Oh.
That's what I was about to say.
Say, yeah.
Whose stomach was it?
Somebody better feed Mo.
Yeah, I know I just ate, so we good over here.
Somebody better feed Mo.
Oh, my goodness.
You're now tuning into the Monday
Thought you said you made dinner.
co-host, Molly Mall.
Said he made it. He said he ate it.
I said I pushed it out for the show.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All right, we live. I can hear us.
City Soul.
Everybody done heard you.
Powered by the usual
I
suspects.
can't hear nothing.
I don't see
Monday
one.
Midsole.
Don't start, Molly. Don't start, Molly.
Yo, it's Monday. Nicole said that we're live. I don't know if we're live, but I'm your co-host, Buckeye City. So we're gonna do this for the 4th and 5th time. I don't got nothing smart to say now because I kind of stole my own Moj. So I'll go ahead and pass it on up to Old Man River.
What's happening? It's your boy Polos and J's, aka the OG J Walker. And I still don't think we're live, but
We are.
let's go.
We are.
All right. With that, I'm gonna pass it over to Mo because I don't see us.
It's on a different. It's on a different one though.
Oh, okay. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mo. I'm gonna keep it short and brief so we can kick it off. And I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Molly Mall.
Can somebody send a thing in the chat? I can't do it without showing everybody the stuff. So.
Sure. I don't see anything, but anyhow, what's going on, usual suspects? Your boy Molly Moore here, leader of the Light Skin Legion, ready to kick off this Monday Midsole show. We got a great guest with us today, but before we get into that, I'm gonna introduce Nicole.
Hi everyone, Rican Power Girl, co-owner of Footage Society Sneaker Boutique, and also still on round 2 of Jimmy Jazz Sneaker Battle. So I want to put that in.
Plug it.
Make sure y'all vote.
And then our illustrious guest. Nobody wanted to announce the man, the myth, the legend.
Mine is not like
they don't want me here. What you
no.
They didn't approve.
Jacques Slade, Kustoo, what's good, man?
Yo. Hi everybody. Thanks for having me. Not sure I qualify to be here. I don't have anything to plug because I'm not as cool as these other folks. But I am happy to be here and happy to be able to. I don't know what are we about to do?
We're about to talk about sneakers. And
Have a good time.
Let's do it. Have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
I'm posting the link in the chat, and then Jacques. We're gonna get things started, but I'm gonna shoot you the link as well.
Okay, I just found. I got it. I'll send it out.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. You know.
I'm not.
Right.
I've been enjoying myself. I don't know about y'all.
I'm about to say, listen,
still under that table.
That's funny.
We it was all jokes in here. We had a good time, but yeah, Jacques, man, welcome. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Thank you for having me, man. Honestly, I'm really, really excited to be here.
It's I was looking at the last video and going up on 3 years already. I can't believe it.
Damn.
Wow. Has it really been that long?
July 2017. Crazy.
Man. Wow. Man, how time flies.
For real. That being said, man, there's a lot going on your way. Been a busy man.
I would say I'm busy, just working like everybody else. That's all. We're just working like everybody else, just trying to maintain.
I hear that. So, for those who maybe didn't catch the 2017 episode or forgot or are new to this, why don't you just introduce yourself and some of the work you've done and take us through your story.
I'm Jacques Slade, like everybody else here. I love sneakers in one way or another. I do. Technically, I guess they call me a YouTuber. I make videos on YouTube, do unboxings and reviews. I host some stuff, do a little bit of stuff behind the scenes, and yeah, just a guy that loves sneakers and got really, really lucky.
So we just gonna leave out the music thing.
We're not gonna talk about the B.
Oh, I'm supposed to make my own music?
No.
I didn't know. I was gonna say something. Nobody told me I had to.
Hey.
I'm Jacques Slade. I don't know. Like, nobody told me. I didn't know. Y'all gotta let me know next time.
Yeah. So, okay. Your path has been anything but linear.
Yeah.
So why don't we start there with kind of the genesis and like how things evolved. You are the world-renowned sneaker YouTuber now. But
I'll take that.
so back to the beginning.
Yeah, so I started in the sneaker world, like officially in the sneaker world as a writer. So I was working at Kicks on Fire. I was writing articles for them. I was doing like 5 posts a day for them, just writing about whatever the news was. This was back in 2009. So I started there in December of 2009. And then in March of 2010, I put up my first sneaker video for Kicks on Fire. It wasn't for me, it was for Kicks on Fire. So I was doing videos for them. And I did that for 3 years. Then I started I worked for Nice Kicks for a little while. Nice Kicks and I parted ways, I'll say, in 2013. And that a week after that, I put up a video on my own channel. And I can't say it enough, but I think I just got really lucky. I just kind of got in at the right moment. Because I had worked for Kicks on Fire and Nice Kicks, I kind of had a name in the sneaker world. And so when I started doing videos on my own, like everybody was really supportive. Like the brands were really supportive. Some friends were really supportive. And more importantly, like the sneaker community was real supportive of what I was doing. And that helped me grow. Because I had that prior respect of already being a writer. I think it helped when I was doing videos on my own. It helped me grow more than I probably should have. And so that just kind of elevated me. I was one of the few people that was doing videos on sneakers back then. There just wasn't a ton of people doing it back then. Like when I started, there was like Fran, there was like Sneak Geek. I think Dells was doing videos back then. This is when I was at Kicks on Fire, and like the other people were doing them here and there, but nobody was doing them consistently. And I was one of the few people that kind of did it consistently. And by the time 2013 came around, I was known for the video stuff just because I was pretty consistent and one of the main people that were doing it. And it just it grew from there. Grew pretty steadily. I did the tour of Jordan's house for, I believe it was the 28, I think it was 28 or 29. And that just exploded out of nowhere. I mean, and I shouldn't say that right away. A lot of people think it just blew up right away. It actually didn't blow up right away. Like I did the video and it only had like 50,000 views. And then like 6 to 9 months later, for some reason, it just picked up. People just started watching it, and that just exploded. And like it became basically a viral video like 6 to 9 months after it was already out. And then that really took things off for me and really helped me grow and got me more exposure.
How was that? Because I was actually just looking at that one. I remember when you were posting like, "Oh, let's get this one to 1 million. It's so close." And then, like you said, it was well after it was initially posted. I watched that a couple times, but talk to us about that experience. I think that's dope, especially coming off the heels of The Last Dance last night.
So it was interesting because it was out there for a trip with the brands. Michael wasn't there. I've never met him. For those, because people always ask me like, "Oh, did you meet Michael?" No, I met the grass at his house, and so it was just like, for someone that's so iconic to you, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's like, I think about this when I think about sneakers as a kid. When I loved sneakers as a kid, I loved sneakers because I loved the people that wore them. I was so enthralled with the people that wore the sneakers that the sneakers just became like, if I could get a piece of that, I could be like them. Like the guys in my neighborhood that played basketball, I would watch them play ball, watch them dunk, how fast they were, and all these things. And I was like, anything that they had, I wanted a piece of it. So if they wore certain color shorts, I wanted those shorts. If they wore shoes, I wanted those shoes. And so like, I kind of felt the same way with Jordan being able to go to his house. He's such a big or larger than life character. Like the whole experience is just like, wow, I'm at Jordan's house. This is Jordan. This is his house. I mean, it's a house like anybody else's house, but the fact that it was Jordan's house, I saw this 23 on the gate, it made it that more meaningful. So like what you see on that vlog is really the whole me capturing every moment, like just walking and seeing like, oh, he has this huge long driveway. Oh, that's so cool. He has a putting green. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, like his grass is super green. That's so cool. And then, you know what I mean? So like every little thing is like, oh, this is Jordan's house. You know, we didn't get to go to the main house. We went to like the gym that he had in the back. You got to walk past all the Helps cars, and then he had like this extra building on the side where we had lunch, and he had like a little pond on the inside there. But then we, you know, in the gym where he had like the basketball court, he had a little DJ set up. And just thinking like, yo, he used to practice in here. Like he used to put in work in here. So you're thinking about all of those things while you're in there. And still haven't met the man. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. Shout out to Jordan Brand because they made it all happen. And obviously something that I'll never forget. Like just the fact that I would have been there would have been enough, but the results of how that video really helped elevate my career make it even more meaningful to me.
That's awesome. So aside from that, what would you say like your most memorable moment throughout your tenure, your career?
My most memorable moment. There's two. I would say the first time that I got to when I got to interview Kobe one-on-one. I was way out of my league, like not even close to being ready for that level of an interview. But, you know, thankfully, you know, the folks at Nike Basketball believed in me. It was I was a one-man band. I brought 2 cameras. I brought the sound, set all of that up. Like, it was just like the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. You don't want to mess anything up. I mean, you gotta think, like, it's Kobe. Like, you don't want to mess anything up. Like, I can't mess this up. And so for me, it was just like this experience of like being able to sit next to him and talk to him, and then seeing how he engages with you, which is something that I think a lot of athletes don't do. Having since, you know, interviewed other athletes since then, like the way that Kobe would like talk to you and how he knew what he was talking about and how intelligent he was about the way that he spoke about things. Like he was a great first big time interview for me to have, even though I felt like I was out of my league. He set a great example for what an interview should be like when you talk to one of these athletes. So I'm definitely thankful for that, because it taught me a lot of what I should get from an athlete, how an athlete should respond, and if an athlete doesn't respond that way, that I should probe them. And even like after the interview, like the moments after the interview are what really resonated for me with him, just because like he looked you eye to eye. It wasn't like you weren't interviewing him and he was like, the 7 is dope, it's cool, we got Lunar, yeah, it's great. Like Kobe would like engage with you like one-on-one, like eye to eye, lock eyes with you, and like he made you feel like nobody else in the room was there, and like he was just talking to you. I remember after he retired, we did a thing with him for like there was this like dream, like he did like this dream thing where they had like kids kind of had like their dream moment, and one of those moments was to train with Kobe. And so like I got to go and I interviewed him, and after the interview we just took like 2 minutes and I was just talking to him about Granity Studios, about his studio, and about the books that he was doing, and like asking him about the path and where he was going, and he was like explaining to me where he was going, and I was, you know, just giving like my own feedback about what I thought about the books and what I thought about the characters and these ideas. And he was just like fully engaged, like literally like sitting with me and just like, okay, right. No, he's like, no, yeah. He's like, yeah, TV and film, that's definitely down the line. He's like, no, absolutely. Like, absolutely. It's like definitely the path. He's like, my goal with this. And like, he would go into his whole thing, but like really engaging with you. And so like for that, I think that is a moment that I'll always just kind of remember, just because of those little small things that he did to really engage with you and really set the bar for how anybody should react with anybody. But, you know, an athlete should engage with you when you're trying to find out more information about them. So I would say that probably the biggest moment, one of the big moments. And then the second one would be for Nike ID. So Nike ID gave me the opportunity to design a shoe for that they were going to promote, and they asked me what I wanted to design on. They let me like base it on my grandfather, And so my grandfather was a huge inspiration to me. Like he wasn't working, but he would get up every morning and go collect cardboard and turn in cardboard, and he would take me and my cousins with him, and we would be in front of his truck. And so like I had these memories of him always getting up like before dawn, early in the morning, and just like grinding to make ends meet. And so like for that, I feel like that kind of resonated with me and like my work ethic and why I work the way that I do, because that's something that I always remember. Like if my grandfather can get up at the crack of dawn while the stars are still out to work, like there's no reason I shouldn't get my ass up and work. So I feel like by them letting me do that, and like I was able to design it even though my grandfather had passed, and I was able to give that shoe to everybody in my family and give them all a pair, so they all have a pair. So like that moment was just like a big moment for me. Like I got to kind of pay homage to someone in my family that meant a lot to me through sneakers, which is something that I really love and I'm passionate about, and I get to share that experience with my family. So something like that, yeah, I would say that's probably the next biggest moment for me.
Nice. That's amazing. Do you have that like readily available? That shoe?
The shoe? Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
Let's go.
Nice.
So everybody, no, okay. That's dope.
So this is the shoe. It's an Air Max one. It's the Lunar one with Lunar Lawn. And the reason that I did it this color is because my grandfather's truck was like this bluish turquoise color, and so that's where the blue came from. And then I put speckled black speckled midsole with white speckles, and that represented like the stars in the morning. When we would get up in the morning, you could still see the stars in the sky.
Nice.
So that was there. And then they had like a felt suede here, and that's based on my grandfather's gloves, because when he would get the cardboard, he would have a razor to cut the cardboard, and he would always have these gloves on. And then when he would get in the truck, he'd take the gloves off and he'd set them on the dashboard. And then me and my cousins would sit there, and sometimes we'd grab the gloves. And something that I always remembered about the gloves is that the back of them had like this like nappy like feel to them. Like it was like this nappy suede almost to them. So I put that there on the back. And then I put Psalms 226 on the back, which is raise him up in the way, raise a child in the way that he should go. So that's what that's about. And then the other one says PP, which is for Pop, which is what we call them. And so that's how this whole thing that's how it came together.
That's awesome.
That is nice. I like that. I like the.
Thanks, man.
It looks like you need to get into designing sneakers.
No.
I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that compliment, but I don't. I have too much respect for actual designers and color designers to even step into that world.
Make the bumblebee.
So I feel like Kev's been like chomping at the bit to go into that part. So you want to elaborate on the bumblebee?
What we're talking about? What bumblebee?
Was it the bumblebee or the butterfly?
What butterfly?
I thought it was a
music video.
I thought it was a bumblebee, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a bumblebee. The music video.
Sure. I'm not trying to know what you mean.
Oh, I can get the picture.
Yeah,
I get the picture.
Get the picture, Molly. Get the picture.
We had Jazzy on not too long ago too, and she brought it up. So
wait, what? I don't know what you mean. That's so weird. So odd.
Like I got a case of amnesia.
That's so strange. Yeah, a bumblebee.
I know you can't denounce that because that brought up some opportunities. So you can't act like that didn't happen.
So you mean like the bumblebee? About like the LeBron 9 or the Honey Nut Cheerio? LeBron 9 or the 10? That one?
That was the 10. That was the 10.
The 10? Is that what you guys talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Kev, you find the picture.
I don't know.
I can't without like moving.
Oh, true. I can't find it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I'd have to scroll through.
What?
You might.
That's a shame.
Should have put on the thumbnail.
Anyways, yeah, I'll find it though. Don't worry, I'll find it. But aside from that, man, how's like quarantine life been for you?
It's a funny thing. Quarantine life isn't that much different for me because I work from home.
Oh.
So I'm home all the time anyway. I guess the biggest impact is like I'm not traveling like I used to. Like I would travel once, maybe twice a month. And in this situation, like I'm just not traveling, but I'm at home again, like just working from home like I usually do. Like my studio is in the loft at my house. And so I don't really have to travel. The biggest difference is that my family is here. That's like they're here during the day. That's the biggest thing. Like my wife is here every other day, and the kids are here from school. But besides that, that's like really the biggest difference for me because I'm at home working.
Right. Okay.
Is that disrupting your working?
With the family being here?
Mm-hmm.
No, not
You're
as
on
much.
camera. You're on camera.
Circle of trust.
No, not as much. Not really.
Okay.
Every once in a while, my wife would be like, "Can you do this?" But she would do that regardless. She would just do it on her way to work, as opposed to doing it while I'm coming into the room and asking.
Is there like a blooper series where you like getting interrupted and?
Oh no, they're actually pretty respectful because like sometimes like I work pretty late at night sometimes, and they're here during that time, and so they're pretty respectful of when I'm in here recording to kind of give me space. They don't really come in here very often.
Yeah.
Only you have that.
Somewhere. What's that? Only me. Yeah. Somewhere in the internet, there's a video of a kid chucking a toy on my head.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
That's the greatest video ever.
Yeah.
Wow. I forgot.
It was like I was gonna scrap it, edit it, or whatever, and it was just like too funny, so I just threw it up there.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it.
I can't find that bumblebee. It's bothering me, but I will.
It probably doesn't exist. It probably doesn't.
Oh no, it does. I'll hit up Jassy. I'm sure she has it on deck.
I honestly don't know what you mean.
Okay. So
I mean, I wasn't a Transformer. I don't get it. I don't know.
That's what keeps coming up for me on the YouTube or on the Google search. So, but I will find it.
I don't know. What's that emoji?
So, I mean, what's next? Like, what projects do you have in the pipeline?
There's two projects coming up that I hope actually come together that I can't truly speak on because I don't know if they're going to happen fully. So, but my goal is to continue doing what I'm doing, but expand that to more traditional platforms in a sense. So, taking what I've been able to do here and do it on television, do some stuff behind the scenes. I would love to do more like directing and producing. Like I would love to shoot Foot Locker's Week of Greatness campaign. Like I would love to be the guy that directs that commercial for them. I would really love a sitcom about sneakers to be on TV that not necessarily focused on sneakers, but revolves around sneakers as kind of like the connecting thing between a group of friends or a family or something like that. I would love to see something like that on television, and I would love obviously to play a part in that, whether that's a sneaker store owner, an uncle or a dad, or something. So, the sneakerhead. I would love to see something like that on television, and I think to really cultivate the next generation. I think part of the gift that God has given me has allowed me this platform, and I think it's a waste for me not to pass that on to somebody else and bring somebody else up that that I would hope will do 10 times more than I ever had the opportunity to. Like if I'm setting the bars, like you guys can at least at a minimum, this is what you can do. So now it's your job to take it up to the next level, and I would love to be able to help bring that person up.
Can I ask a real quick question, Molly? Just to piggyback
on
that real quick. Have you put together like a pilot or a script of some sort that kind of lays out the premise of the show that show by any chance?
I have a spec of like a one pager for like the idea for the show.
Okay. Right.
We've been talking. We've talked to a couple of places about it. But what I really need to do is get with like a real showrunner and a real script writer, and have them actually put together the show. Because I need to really flesh out the characters. Like it's just there's parts of it that I wasn't aware of. Like in my mind, I was like, I have this great idea for a show. Let's make this happen. But you really have to flesh out the characters and give them like their individual personalities and how they all work together, and how does this scene early in the show help this scene later in the show. Like all of those things, it's really at least for me, it was a really complicated process, but the idea is there. I just need to put it down and get it really fleshed out.
Just
when you cast a grump uncle, remember your boy.
Got you all day.
uncle. You mean grandfather? Shit, uncle.
Right. When you go into the genesis of sneakers and people are wearing like huge stones and everything, think of Marcus, right? Like you have a tablet. Thou shalt rock sneakers, Marcus.
That is correct. Number one.
Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong.
No.
You need a life-size Uncle Ruckus.
Wow.
Dang.
I'm gonna be quiet, man. I'm gonna just be
See how they
quiet.
do me every week, man.
That's hilarious. Wow.
So
I have a question. Has there been anything that has been offered to you that you actually were surprised that you denied as far as an opportunity?
Nothing that I can speak of for
Okay, can you talk about why you probably would why you denied it?
So I think so. I about two and a half, maybe 3 years ago, I got a team. So I got a manager and I got a lawyer to help me better navigate the opportunities that are coming in, that are happening for me. And they put me on game. Like I didn't know the ups and downs. I didn't know all the tricks of the trade. Like there's certain language and things like that that they helped me better understand. And a lot of times, unfortunately, like these brands and these ad agencies and these marketing companies, like they take advantage of a lot of the people and these influencers that they work with because they don't have representation, and they offer like pennies to the dollar on what a lot of these people are really worth. And once I realized that of the value that I'm able to bring and the value that others bring that are in the same world as me, and seeing that I guess the backhanded way that some of these brands and some of these market agencies, the way they do things, that has been the cause for me to not do certain things, or they want me to act a certain way or say a certain thing that I'm not personally willing to say. It's very important for me, for my voice to be my voice and be authentic, unless I'm playing a fictional character. But if you want me to be me, then you need to let me be me. Otherwise, you're hiring me to be a fictional character, and I'm going to be a fictional character, and I'm not going to be me. And there's a line there that I think as an influencer, you have to draw a really hard line in the sand to let people know, like, if I'm going to be me, you have to let me be me. And if I'm not going to be me, we need to let it be known that this is not representing Jacques. This is representing a character you want me to play. So things like that, or say a brand wants to lock you up for a year with some sort of exclusivity clause, but my job is to talk about sneakers, not just your brand. You may pay me to talk about your sneakers, but I can't be exclusive to you, because then that ruins my voice, and then people don't trust me anymore. I need to be able to talk about Reebok, Adidas, Nike, Jordan, New Balance. I need to be able to talk about them all. I'm okay with giving you a limited period, but I can't be exclusive to you, period. If that's the case, and if that's what you want, then like it needs to be a bag for real. Like it needs to be insane amount of money, because now you're compromising my voice, and I'm not your signature athlete. And unless you're planning on making me your signature YouTuber, then otherwise, then that can't work, because you're not going to ask Complex to do that. You're not going to ask Sneaker News to do that. You're not going to ask Nice Kicks to do that. You're not going to ask Bleacher Report to do that. So why are you asking me? I'm no different than them. I'm a business just like them. I have employees just like them. I write about sneakers just like them. So there's no difference between me and them.
So now look in hindsight, right? You've been doing this for a long time. When do you think that you should have started that? For those that are starting now, like at what point do you say, I should have really started doing this maybe right like a year after I left Nice Kick? Like
You know what? Honestly, I think there is no timeline. I think, you know what I mean. I think you have to, because you have to do some of that work beforehand. Like some of that work has to happen in order for like brands to see that you could do that. You know, obviously you create your own work and create your own sort of platform, but some of that work you kind of have to do some of that at first. You know, not just because you want to be in good graces with the brand, but I think it also shows you what what's going to require of you to do that kind of stuff, what a deliverable is, and knowing that you need to have stuff in on time, being able to follow a pitch deck about what exactly they want, following the marketing plan, providing your own ideas, getting feedback, like all of those steps in the process. You need to know those things before you can be like, no, I'm not gonna do this because y'all not paying me enough, or no, y'all not using my voice, or whatever it is that you have an issue with it. Like you need to be able to know the business well enough to step into that world. It's not the only thing you need to know, right, but it definitely helps you. So I can't say that there's a certain time. Like for me, I feel like it was probably about the right time. My growth was at a place where it was starting to become bigger and bigger. And so for me, I think it was right then. For some people, like they explode right off the bat. So it could be 1-2 months for them. Or it could be somebody who doesn't grow for a long time. Like they may not need to do that until later down the line. So I can't really say that there is a specific time. I would just say kind of trust your own instincts, talk to other people around you, get feedback from people from other industries and learn about the process yourself. And so that when it is time for you to step into that role, that you step into it in an intelligent way and you're smarter about it. And when somebody's giving you the full rundown versus when somebody's trying to get over on you.
Okay. Yeah, good points.
So there are a lot of people that want to be like a voice similar to you, and they just don't know where to start. Like, who are some people that you look to, you leaned on for guidance, and what type of person is that helps you to become what you did?
So for me, the voice, there's a couple of voices that kind of pushed me. So I actually had a really good, I would say, mentor / friend that worked at Nike. And when I went out on my own, he was very supportive, like with advice and things like that. So him for one. And then another guy was Marcus Troy. So when the situation with Nice Kicks, like Marcus Troy was one of the guys that I called, and I was like, yo, what should I do? And he was literally like, yo, start your own thing and do it. And I was like, but it's just me. Like, who am I? You know what I mean? How am I going to go against these huge publishers? And Marcus Troy, he was literally like, yeah, yo, do your own thing. He's like, do you create what you want to create, get out there and create, make your own thing, be your own person, be your own boss. Like, he pushed me literally just one phone call, called him, and he was just like, this is what you got to do. Like, without question, no hesitation in his voice. He was like, that's your path. So I'm forever grateful to him for that. And so I would say, when there's, as far as voices go, like, find your someone that you look up to in any industry. Like, it doesn't have to be sneakers. So Marcus Troy, he's into sneakers, but really he's more fashion than he is sneakers. And so like that, I reached out to him just because I liked what he do. I watched what he did, and I liked the path that he was on, and I knew it was something that I wanted to do something similar. And so that's why I reached out to him. My buddy that worked at Nike, like he was like, he provided the insight of like, am I doing this right? Like, can I do this on my own? And he was like, yo, I'll support you, but you got to put in the work. Like, you have to do the work. And so that, I guess it all kind of goes back to finding people that you're inspired by, or finding people that you look up to, and really sort of mimicking their path. Like, I had that one call with Marcus Troy, and I was like, all right, I see the path that he's on. I'm going to mimic his path. I'm going to do what he's doing, and kind of create my own voice. And I think that's probably the most important thing of all of this stuff, is being you and being who you are. There's nothing wrong with, I would say, mirroring what somebody else does. But as you start to learn that process, You have to interject your own personality and who you are, because that's what's going to make you different in the sneaker community. Like, I'm not the first person to do sneaker unboxings. I don't know, what is this? What is this?
Why you going around
I'm
that?
mad at that.
You know he was doing this the whole time too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He's like, go ahead, Mo. He's like, go ahead, Mo.
He set you up.
What is this?
That was content, just kind of showing how you go out on a limb.
The setup.
Yeah, and that's an example of. So here's the thing about that video. The sneaker community. No. On a serious tip. So the sneaker community was super fed up with bots at the time, and so I wanted to find a way to talk about bots that was entertaining and funny. And so that's where that song I was literally driving in the car listening to Get Lucky, and the song lyrics, like, I just started putting the song lyrics in my head, and I just talked about how we try to get lucky on Saturday mornings because the bots are so crazy. And so, like, it came out this way. This is really like an editorial, really. If you look at it and if you really listen to the lyrics, this is an editorial on bots and how hard it was to get socks. I mean, to get shoes. I think it's brilliant. I mean,
we got a Nick Engvall cameo. We got a Nightwing cameo. I mean, like, what else do you need?
Was in, John Gotti was in it. This is Jazz's sister. Jazzare was in it. Who else was in the video? Who else did it? There was me in like 5 different outfits.
Oh, he's doing the Carlton?
Yeah. Nightwing got it in.
I need that jacket you're rocking. That jacket.
I still got that jacket. Don't
still got the wig? You still got the wig?
I don't know where the wig is. That's the one thing that's missing.
Nicole probably got it.
Wait. See, and what most people don't know about Jacques is that he's got a pretty extensive music.
Anyway,
I guess I don't understand the right terminology, but his resume on the music side is actually pretty extensive as well.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to be at first. I wanted to be a rapper at first. I didn't want to be a YouTuber or sneakerhead. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to have. I had bars back in the day. I guess.
Bars.
We'll go ahead and give us some bars now.
Oh no!
Dang, just put you on the spot.
On the spot.
Yeah.
No,
he like fire in the booth.
You got MJ Secret. Boom! He's got a bottle of MJ Secret stuff over there. Come on, you got a couple bars for us.
Drop a beat, Kev.
I don't have the bars.
There's bars and there's beats in the background. You just can't hear it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, I have another question. And Molly, let me know, cut me off whenever.
I'll cut you off right now. How about that?
Molly. How do you measure your success?
Oh gosh, that's a beautiful question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
In different phases, like, how do you measure, okay, your success, and you know what, this is what I want to continue doing?
He got invited onto the Midsole. There's success right there. Boom!
Bang!
So success is definitely a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
And your own personal views on what success is. Like, I can't tell somebody else what success is. For someone might see what I'm doing and think, oh, Jacques is successful. But for me, I look at Will Smith and go, like, that's successful. I look at The Rock and go, oh, that's successful. I look at Kevin and like all of these guys, like, okay, that's successful. That's where I want to get to. And the goal of getting there is really not to be a superstar or not to be like this fame, but for me, it more represents what I'll be able to do at that point, what that represents as far as like a legacy goes of what I can do for the people that are coming up behind me. I subscribe to the thought that what I'm doing now isn't for me. What I'm doing now is for the people that come behind me. Like my mom and my dad, what they did is the reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do. So for me, success is being able to provide opportunities for kids, nephews, nieces, family, and and an extended people that come from the neighborhood that I'm in. Like, that's success for me, to being able to help them and provide as much as I can, as much as possible for them. So success is really determined by you. For some people, success means making $100,000 a year. Cool, now I'm successful, and that's great. And everybody has that goal that they want to reach. But as you grow, that goal, I feel like it changes. Like my first goal was to just put a video up on YouTube, and I got that. And it was like, oh, I want to get 10,000 subscribers, and I got that. And I want to reach 1 million subscribers, and I got that. So like now that goal for me just continually changes, and it sounds cliche, but really it's that journey is really what's most important. Like the goal is just literally just a goal post. It's just a marker in the grass. The goal is actually putting in the work to get there. That's where the success comes. Putting in the work, because that prepares you and gives you the skills and the information that you need in order to continue to go higher.
Okay.
Awesome. Now we appreciate that, Jacques. That's a lot of good information, great perspective. We're gonna transition to topics. We got a nice little slate of topics to chop it up about.
Topics.
Not the hand rub. I was about to say, yeah, exactly.
Topics sponsored by 89 Manufacturing Company, as well as Unbox App, as well as Footage Society.
Hey.
The first topic we have here is StockX lays off 12% of the staff in response to the coronavirus. And we did talk about the 3% increase that they decided to charge last week on the show. So, they get the 3%, and then, now, the layoffs come. So what do we think are going to be, what's going to be the repercussions, from this? And also a lot of people upset, that, hey, is the authentication going to take a hit?
My account's gone. I know that. They took a hit on a customer. Yeah, I'm done. I ain't buying nothing. Are you kidding? Shoot, I'm done. I can find other ways to get what I need. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I guess first and foremost, what I'm curious about is whether or not they qualified for any of the
small business
stimulus package, right? The PPP.
And I'm sure they did.
Probably at the top.
Still,
I wonder if that's going to be public. Like everybody who received an actual loan or grant, is that going to be public?
Nope, they said it on CNN. It's not public.
There are ways to find it because that's how all these other all these public companies are getting exposed.
Yeah.
Because there are programs to be able to figure out who actually received it. So that's how like AutoNation got called out, Ruth Chris got called out.
Yep. Shake Shack. Well, they gave their money back.
Harvard.
Did it?
Wow.
Harvard got called out.
Harvard, the school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The university.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a whole slew of them.
They built a new wing on the Molly's house. Remember, he's the one that coined it, the West Wing.
Well, Harvard actually was supposed to be giving out funds to students for housing because they're not staying in campus. So they was using that. They have a lot of out of the country students that are stuck here and can't go back.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But like you said, the bigger businesses, and that's the thing, you got, and I saw that they started awarding out the money again today, but the messed up thing is you have these bigger businesses who are qualifying, and you have a lot of these smaller businesses that didn't get the money and they've had to shut down, like they're gone out of business, and so I see what they're doing now. At least they're trying to, what is it, 60 billion for the actual smaller businesses, but in reality, because we don't have any insight into that, who knows where that money's really going, and what's to stop these bigger businesses? And they were saying this on CNN today, what's to stop them from submitting again, so
supposedly they put more regulations, like more stipulations around how you would qualify, and that's supposed to block some of the bigger companies from being able to actually either receive the loans. But the bigger companies are saying, hey, we qualified based off the criteria, so we submitted and we got it.
Right.
And we're going to create a smaller company to go ahead and double dip.
That's the thing. So like one of the hospitality companies, they basically for each of their buildings submitted separate entities. So that's how they were able to accumulate all this money in the way of loans. So
but also the loans were based on location. So if one of your location has less than 50 employees, then you qualify to apply for that one location. right?
They use all like their different hospitality, right? So they like use all of their different entities and submitted it independently.
Correct.
They were able to secure those loans. Now, whether or not StockX did or didn't, I guess that's up for debate. But save money on the balance sheet by knocking off 12% of its workforce right off the bat, and then increase some of their profit by adding a 3% buyer's fee.
Right, and that's what I was reading. A lot of this is so that they're more profitable, with them contemplating going IPO. So I don't know. They're saying they don't make money, right? I don't know what their overhead is, but like you were saying, Maul, by cutting 12%, they had I think I read 800-900 employees. So you chop 12% of that, you raise the 3%, and then you get to the point where maybe you're more profitable, and then I think all this is in reality it's more going towards them trying to get to this IPO, not we're trying to make things better for consumers. I don't see that at all.
Balance sheet ploy, right? They're just trying to make it happen. So
I wonder how many people are going to forget about this, right?
Forget about it.
They can forget about my business, because
how many people are like, oh, I'm not messing with them, and then in 2-3 months they're gonna start buying up again.
I don't know. I think StockX has done enough negative things where people are not gonna forget. I mean, with the whole breach of that, with the 3%, with all this, I think people are not gonna forget, because I don't shop with them anymore.
I think there's gonna be people that come back to them. They're gonna still.
I mean, of course.
Of course.
As long as they're competitive, people are gonna shop there. I mean,
right?
People are gonna say, "Oh, I don't mess with StockX no more," and then open your box up on live. Got that little green hang tag.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's about money at the end of the day.
Right.
Like with anything else, it's about money at the end of the day. They're gonna try it. Everybody trying to make a buck. Just like all those big businesses that apply for the quote unquote small business loan. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make sure that they don't have to use their own money, or they're able to borrow money. Like, part of the reason why a lot of those big businesses are actually getting that money is because the loan terms are so good in comparison to what they can get from an actual loan or using their own cash. It's a 1% loan. And you don't have to pay it back if you use 75% of it for payroll for your employees.
Right, that's right.
If I'm gonna look for a loan, why am I gonna go out to this bank that's gonna charge me 3, 4, whatever %?
Right.
I can get this loan for 1%. I gotta pay. I'm paying my employees, which I'm gonna do anyway. So I use this money to pay my employees. The other 25% I can use towards rent. I can use towards utilities, and I can use it towards other things, and it's forgivable, so I don't have to pay it back. So yeah, I mean, business are going to business. Like, there's no question that a business is going to business.
Right.
Thankfully they changed the rules so that it's not necessarily harder to qualify now, but they are adding a little bit of a moral compass. Like, apply for this if you need it. Like, the Lakers giving money back. Like, the Lakers don't need the money, but they were able to get it and they qualified. So of course they're going to apply, just like anybody else is going to.
Right.
But they don't need it because, one, they're one of the most profitable, teams in the NBA, and two, the NBA raised the debt floor for them so they could borrow money at an incredible cost. So they can just borrow money from the NBA as an entity, as opposed to borrowing money for this, which is taking away from small businesses who don't have access to that NBA loan,
right?
That can't help with that NBA debt. So there's the same thing is happening with StockX. Like, people are mad now, but if that's where they're going to get the most bang for their buck, they're going to go back to StockX. It's unfortunate, and you would hope that people would start to recognize that, I guess, what the company is about or how the company is operating, and make moves based on that. But you can't expect everybody to do the same thing, unfortunately. And that's part of the problem with, like, I would say, the older sneakerheads. That's what they have with this younger generation. They know it's all about the buck, and it's not necessarily about the culture. But at the same time, if sneakers is going to grow, that element is going to be a part of it, just like any other industry that grows.
Right.
Right on. Do we want to go
Y'all
to?
Tell me to shut up if I'm talking too much.
No, definitely.
No, not at all.
Dropping
That
gems.
was it, man. Drop the mic.
Yeah, call you the closer.
Y'all want to talk about yesterday's episode of The Last Dance?
I do.
Episode.
Oh,
Go.
goodness.
Jock, you been keeping up with that?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You watched the episode
The way
already.
they portrayed Rodman yesterday. That was so dope, the way they portrayed Rodman. I loved every second.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you knew that he was a hustler, but like when you saw that, like, you know, he just broke away and then he came back and didn't miss a step. Like, that's awesome. Like, that's crazy. That's a robot.
4 laps.
MJ was going in.
It's like, go slow. He's just coming back.
I think that was great. Like, it just kind of showed some of the respect and admiration and like kind of how like MJ had evolved in his career. If you think of like where he was as a rookie versus where he was at, you know, toward the end of his Chicago tenure, where he's like, all right, I need this guy. I know Phil's going to try to like punish him. We got to save him. And he's like, don't nobody, a slow jog, basically a walk. And next thing you know, he's out.
I was dying. I
took that a different way. I didn't take that MJ was trying to take up for Rodman. I took it as MJ being like, I don't want to do this, so we gonna go as slow as we can.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I didn't take it as him being like, yo, we gotta protect Rodman. I took it as him trying to protect himself. Like, all right, look, I ain't finna work out for Rodman.
Because he said it too. He was like, why am I being punished for the fact that he's?
He
said that. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, no. Yeah.
I need my rest.
We used to do that run with a bucket on the end of each hoop, and then you just ran until you threw up.
I'm mad at that.
Yeah.
One thing I could say, I've never thrown up from basketball practice.
No.
Yeah, I've never thrown up in basketball practice.
Jesus.
This kid ate SpaghettiOs before practice once.
My roommate in college, he had it bad. He was out of shape. We knew it because, you know, we had preseason workouts and everything like that. So like the first official day of practice, the coach was running us ragged, just like he normally does, trying to figure out who's tough and cut off the weak link. He was just dying. Next thing I knew, I turned around, he was in the corner hacking. It was like next season.
Oh man, he says
I
next
would have
season.
threw up too.
No, it's a wrap.
I don't think I've ever worked out enough where I was about to throw up. I felt like I've gotten a little like, all right, I need to calm down, but I've never like gotten to the point where I'm about to throw up.
Oh no, I've been there.
Marathon.
I've thrown up in my mouth.
Running.
Running.
Yeah, I threw up my mouth. Shit, swallowed it.
He everything else.
You ain't about to see. Listen, you ain't about to see me do. Yeah, I was like,
you don't have to tell the truth all the time, Mo.
I think I did it track, but it was clear. And it was like nobody was watching. So.
We family. You be transparent. Listen, I guarantee you, somebody in that damn chat done threw up in their mouth, swallowed their shit, and they just ain't gonna say it. I'll put it out there. What I care.
Yeah.
It happened.
We'll be talking about this later.
Listen, that's like that's like you never gonna see me cry in front of.
We just lost 10 viewers.
You ain't never gonna see me cry in front of you.
Threw up.
Right? I might bawl when I get home, but you know, if something's bothering me, you ain't never gonna see me cry in front of you. So you ain't gonna see me throw up because.
Man,
I'm getting sick right now.
After having kids, though, man, like my emotions be fucked up sometimes, messed up sometimes.
No,
oh, y'all done seen me cry. I don't care.
I don't care either.
That's because you a little something. I ain't gonna say the word on TV.
Man, he's had
anybody?
decades.
What'd you say, Mom?
Last dance.
I can repeat what I said last week. Jordan is a big snitch. He snitched every week.
Hold up, did he snitch yesterday though?
Yes.
What?
I knocked on the door and he was in the bed with.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He always snitching.
He's like, hey, my family's gonna be watching this, and he's like, your son's an alcoholic.
Yeah. MJ, yeah.
Like, damn.
Hey,
they lucky they didn't tell on him because I heard he was wilding out too. When they get to that, they're gonna bring out Juanita.
Can't know the deal.
They're gonna bring out Juanita like. Let me tell you the real story about Michael.
But you know, though, I thought it was interesting that that Phil recognized, gave him the 48 hours, which turned into whatever. Because at the end of the day, everybody is not the same, right? What you do in your personal life, I don't care what you do in your personal life as long as it don't affect the team. So if I need to give you 48 hours, you're gonna come back and you're gonna give me 20 rebounds in the next game, take the 48 hours, But I think that's what people have to understand. It's just like an everyday job. Everybody doesn't work the same. You can't coach everybody else the same. You have to play to strengths and weaknesses, and for Phil to recognize that. Imagine that today, somebody sitting here saying, I need 48 hours, during the middle of the season. They're gonna look at you like you crazy.
Right. Yeah, they pretty much do that anyway.
That's load management, man.
Yeah,
Load management. Or they take off during the game, right? Like, I ain't getting my 48 hours. All right, I ain't gonna play that much defense this game, or something like that.
So emotional intelligence, managing personality. That's what makes Phil.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about saying social media won't let you do that these days anyway.
Oh, they
going
was
able to do that back then just because he could go to
right,
and unless you were there, no one could really say anything about it.
Exactly.
I saw Robin in Vegas, like what?
That's true. That's just like, wait, he on Twitter?
Today, yeah. You see, if you see Donovan Mitchell in Vegas and he's supposed to be at a game, it's gonna be all over something.
Right.
We're
gonna void your contract.
It's all over the world. Yeah.
That's true. That is true. We're in a new era. So back then that was acceptable.
He's drinking beer and riding around on a motorcycle.
Right. And think about it. These are things we didn't even know until yesterday where you see the footage, So how did I know Robin was missing? So yeah, it's a good point.
We knew in Dallas what he was doing.
They had the Rodman special.
The 30 for 30?
30. They had the Rodman 30 for 30. There's definitely a lot of content, a lot of production out there.
Yeah.
How it's curated right now is great. I like the way everything's being set up.
Me too. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's one of those where I want to just plow through it, but it gives me something to look forward to.
Right.
Each weekend.
It's my self-control of the week.
Watch ahead.
What's up?
I love that we all watch it together too.
Yeah. That's why I want to watch ahead, because I want to be able to interact and then feel it at the same time everybody else does, rather than sit there waiting to look at somebody's face like, oh yeah, you saw that,
right.
You have nobody to talk to about it if you watch it yourself.
Right.
A lot of people already finished up to 8 or whatever was available on the leak, but
oh man, it's tempting.
I watched none of that.
It was on the Fire Stick.
I want to do nothing.
Oh, it is. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna talk offline. I need to jailbreak mine again.
Been saying that for 3 years.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What is this jailbreak you talk of?
Hey, Kustoo has a sad card. He don't like.
I can't do it. I don't want to watch it. I want to watch it with everybody else at the same time.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm in for movies. I want to jailbreak for movies, but that's not the topic.
Ain't no movies coming out.
Movies.
What kind of movies?
None your business. Oh, what'd you say? Next topic? What?
Why are you only
kind of like the Bumblebee. Let's move on.
You want to hit this next one last topic, or?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I mean, this could be a quick one because I don't know if any of you guys are into it, but this weekend, Travis Scott had a partnership with Fortnite where they had an actual virtual concert where you're able to participate in, or be at the concert as your character, and you could dance and you got to see the video, and I thought it was awesome. I didn't get to do it live. I watched the video that he posted, but I'm like, man, how dope would that be to have your character and just to be walking around, and this is, supposed to be, the concert, and then, the special effects go with the music perfectly. The stuff that they couldn't do in a real concert, they're able to bring to you this way. So I think that, they should continue to do stuff like this.
Did they charge for that at all? What was it, 12.3?
12.3 million viewers.
Okay. I watched the 10-minute YouTube thing that they had, and I was like, damn, this is I love the concept. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't go to too many concerts these days. I think I went to Wu-Tang last, but other than that, I'll be chilling at the house. I'll be like, damn, am I too old to be out here?
Well, you pay for emotes, you pay for skins, You can get like a battle pass or whatever. So you know, people are buying all this stuff, and he's got merch and stuff like that. I mean, he's been releasing them out. He's been slowly releasing them out the last couple days. But yeah, I mean, like, just you can get Travis Scott and run around the concert as Travis, and you know, it's like $25 to do that though. And there's like, I saw the video. There are a lot of Travises running around there. $25 for all these people.
Is the whole thing animated?
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah,
it's a video
so
game.
Fortnite.
I can't do that for too long.
It's a 10-minute.
Oh, okay. Like 2
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
It actually, you know what though?
What do you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. It wasn't bad at all.
I think there's a couple things here. I think, and I'm sorry if I'm going to be too long-winded here.
No,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's like a generational gap. So I think like the younger generation that looks at digital things as real goods, like this is something they're going to enjoy and be super excited about.
Right.
And then there's an older generation that played video games but didn't look at it in the same way that I think that people look at video games today.
Right.
They're as immersed in video games as they are today. Like, we played video games for a long time, but we weren't necessarily buying things in the video game. Like, you bought the game and really that's it. And then also I think it's different because Travis is more of an artist for this younger generation now as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes a big difference as well.
Right.
I do kind of feel like this should have happened like 6, maybe 9 months ago, and then I think it would have been incredibly huge. Not that this wasn't big, but I think if this happened like 6-9 months ago, when like Fortnite was like crazy popping, like this would have been insane. Like, people would have been all over.
That's true. Good point.
I was kind of hoping that it would have been like a real Travis concert sort of thing, as opposed to just like an animated sort of concert. I wanted it to be like a real Travis thing, like everybody's character watching Travis perform as Travis, as opposed to watching like the character of Travis perform.
Right.
So that's the one thing that I guess the expectation that I came into it with.
Yeah.
But I was a little let down by that. But I do think you'll start to see more stuff like this. This was just too successful for it not to be more stuff like this. And I think this situation, this pandemic, has made a lot of this stuff a lot more acceptable and a lot more real to people who weren't necessarily attached to it. Like this, like doing live is a big thing now because of this pandemic. People are really tuning into that. All the sports leagues are doing the virtual games, like the real race car drivers are going against like the regular race car drivers that do the video games. Like, all that stuff is really, really cool, and the merging of those worlds. And I think the adoption of the new way of thinking about video games was accelerated by this, and people like us, we're talking about it now, and I think we'll be more involved and immersed into that world sooner than later.
Yep. And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that because of the situation where we're all boxed in at home, it really drove this, drove it home. And it's good to see, it's funny, like you were saying, that with this pandemic, people are getting very creative with the things that you're seeing, whether it be TikTok or whatever. I mean, Sports Center, you got people doing tricks through their house, or they're flipping off of furniture and trick shots and all that. It's just, when you're forced to stay at home and you're bored, them creative juices can tend to flow, and I'm loving seeing it, hopefully it continues after we get back to normalcy.
I think they got the perfect person to do this. I don't know if it would have worked with anybody else. Maybe Drake, but like with Travis, I think that, he's just in that right spot, because I think that, like, I respect him being an older person. I like Travis's music. And, or a lot of people that get like our age and up, like they don't like the newer stuff. And I think that Travis is appealing to older as well as younger. And then you put that, I mean, there's probably people that got onto Fortnite that, I can do this. I had to download the damn game for 4 hours to, even and get in it, and it's crazy.
I don't know. I think also, and this is a little bit out the box, and I'm not like huge fitness, but I am into fitness. But then we talk about how before the kids didn't go outside and play outside the way that we used to when we were younger. And I feel like where we're going right now with this epidemic that's going on now, I think that's going to increase as far as like the obesity aspect, as far as being at home, as far as the depression, and it's just amplifying a lot of those things as well. And so I do see how it is evolving and growing, but and there's all these new things that are coming on, but I also see the negativity of how it's stifling a lot of us even further than where we were before. So
yeah, I think that people are gonna not want to go out for a while though. So like, this is the perfect time to do that. And I know you said that, like, just look at it at the height of where Fortnite was. There's people still playing the game, and I think this was a thing to bring everybody back in and start other people. So now somebody that's never played it, now they're gonna start playing the game, and if they drop more concerts, they're gonna want to be a part of that.
Yeah, agreed. That's a good call.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out because he's coming off that tour as well too. So I don't know who else is.
I thought it was dope just to see the Jordans, like, you know, like he's got the ones on, and then he got the sixes on, and
yeah.
But all right, we leave the other one off since, I mean, we can hit it if y'all want, but
I'm good. We already.
Yeah, that's good.
Jacques, you got a drop, or you good for another 10, 15 minutes?
I can do another 10 minutes.
All right, cool. Let's go.
All right. The topic you all been waiting for. Last week, Complex had a post that, you know, caused some controversy. And I don't really want to get too far into it. I might let somebody else go ahead and introduce this one.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh,
Maul.
I mean, I don't.
Is Jacques familiar with what happened?
I don't know what happened, so I'm
yeah.
just
So yeah, maybe
explain it.
Okay. Go ahead, Maul. Go ahead, cause.
Alrighty. So there was a post on Complex with some sneaker posts, Complex sneakers, yeah. Based off of a challenge where I guess it was the stack the Jordan 1s on your head or whatever the case may be, and someone had made a comment that women of color weren't represented in said challenge, in said post, and that the brands tend to favor, you know, a particular look, and the person decided to respond and said, well, next time they'll just wear black makeup, which set off a whole firestorm of other comments. So that's essentially the genesis of the post and the comments. And, you know, from there, obviously people had their opinions, and strong and rightfully so. Kev, I know you reached out to the girl who made the comment to try to gain her perspective, and right. That was taken a certain way. People, you know, they had their own opinions, and
right. I think that like
stories,
posts, videos made about the topic.
So I think what also made the situation worse was the fact that there was a few people that commented on it, and there was a few people that also mentioned that, you know, in high school that certain females only wore, that white females wore Air Force Ones or Vans and Converse. They wasn't really into the sneaker culture, and so there was a few comments beforehand, but when the person that put the comment out was someone that was actually in the video, and so she was like, okay, well, I guess next time I'll just wear black makeup so that I can make you happy, LOL. Shortly after that, she deleted the message. Well, of course, it's a social media, so a few people already had it. The scroll had, you know, screenshots, things of that nature. So there was a few females in the sneaker game, and I think that's mostly what I saw that had posted about it, and then it went to different stories. Jazzy posted it on her story, and so yeah, and then she never has really apologized over it. She never really
she has not apologized at all.
She hasn't. I don't think she hasn't apologized publicly. But when I talked to her about it, because I did reach out, because when I first saw it, I was like, damn, you know, that's jacked up. But then I look and I'm like, all right, like let me say something at least. So I reached out, and I know the girls from Germany or something like that, and we could all say that, all right, everybody knows what level of racism is and what, and how this could affect people here. But we have different cultures. So I said, did you know that what exactly the magnitude of what you said? And she's just like, no, I didn't. And I'm sure she talked to somebody, and that's why she pulled her statement out. And then my problem was like I have a problem with what she said. However, my bigger issue was that I felt that people were saying that white people didn't belong in the culture, and I think that that's wrong, because I think that our people fought for equality. We didn't fight to be the oppressor. So I feel that all right, if there are opportunities that aren't being that black women aren't getting, there's a way to go about addressing that, and not to go on to a post that these girls didn't have anything to do with being posted. They didn't say, hey, can you post our picture, and whatever. Complex Sneakers just posted it, and then they were targeted. So
but I don't think that there was actually targeted. And I think it wasn't like she had posted it, right? And everybody has different opinions, right? So right. And different perspectives, and that's what we're doing, is kind of bringing all those things in. But there's been, before you reached out to her, she actually, a few people did reach out to her. She was like, well, I'm not racist, because now mind you live where the Holocaust was all, right? So
right, but that's different. That's different.
No,
though.
I know that, but I'm saying to you that there is racism everywhere. Right. But and it's always mostly towards dark skin. It's India, China, Puerto Rico, where I'm from, But the other thing was that she also mentioned was, I'm not racist because my ex was black and I have black friends. And then on top, so I think it wasn't just the comment and how quick she took it down, but also the follow-up on her stories. And so it fueled the fire. It continued to fuel the fire, as opposed to being like, hey, I didn't mean to say that. I apologize. I took it down quick because I really realized. And then,
I see. Danny said people were commenting to Complex and not her. But if you look at some of how the statements were directed, like they were definitely directed. Like if someone was like, "Oh, I hate black folks, but you cool," or I'm not talking about you, but you guys get too much stuff. Like you would feel some type of way about it. And then there was other comments in there that were like, it was like somebody said white girls are late to the game or something. I was like, KB, Jody, what's her name, Kixology, and there's so many more that have been in the game for longer than a lot of people. So we can't say that they don't belong, because you know what I'm saying, we take ownership of the style. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it, but let's talk about also where did sneakers really start popping, and then it's in the hip hop culture. So I get it that there were some statements that were actually put out that it was more like a blanket statement. Got it. It's not all, right? But these things were within the struggle of our people, the music, and how we, how we express ourselves, music, art, in the hoods of Spanish Harlem and different areas. So, and I'm sorry, I know I didn't see many until I really started to get into my performing arts and dancing and traveling. And for me, my shop is called Footage Society for the aspect of that is different cultures. I have an Asian partner, I have my son. So I don't know. And even talking about it, just honestly, it makes me fuel, because, and there was people also that mentioned, hey, it wasn't, nobody called her name out. Right, so they talked about the.
They were on the post. Yeah, they were on the post. But if your picture was on the post, and then somebody was talking about you and the people that you posted it with, you wouldn't feel some type of way.
No, I get it, but I wouldn't make a racial comment.
Right. And I'm not excusing. No,
I know you're not. I know we talked about this.
Yeah. I'm just saying, two wrongs don't make it right. My bad.
Let Maul.
No, I'm just saying, the comment wasn't directed at her, and I've been featured on plenty of sites, and people say shit all the time. If you're gonna jump in and argue and battle, people in the comments, that's your own fault. Like, you took the bait. It is what it is. Like, you got featured. Thank Complex Sneakers for the feature and keep it moving. The fact that you went down that rabbit hole and then spoke outside, that's on her. Like, she's got to live with that. And there was no ownership. There was no apology. Like, just own up, acknowledge, don't deflect, and then go from there. Look, But all this talking in circles and making posts and stories and everything like that, it's just making matters worse.
And I think what made me upset too was that, we asked to be inclusive in something, right? But then we show division within some of the things that we do. And for me, that's what made me upset about some of the things that were being reposted. Because, if I have a problem with something that someone is saying, or I might need clarification or whatever, I'm going to reach out to that person first.
Exactly.
And talk to that person.
No, I agree.
The fact that we just kind of started to throw each other under the bus and highlight certain things, that's what made me sad even more.
But that's
right.
Here we are trying to.
That happens all the time, and you're right. I mean, that's not how it should be. If you got an issue with that person. I know me personally, if I got an issue with you, I'm gonna bring it right to you. Right. I'm not gonna post it on Instagram. I'm gonna text you or I'm gonna DM you. But here's what I'll say, and I'm gonna keep it kind of short and sweet. I think that is clearly her statement was wrong, right? I don't think there's any denying that. And there's nothing that can take that away. I think that one issue that I had, and I don't follow her, right? After I saw the comment, I unfollowed her immediately. But people were sending me stuff, and I think the thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was her stories. As far as it showed there's no remorse. I don't care if you've said you're sorry to your friends or whoever, but your actions in public say that you're not sorry. And it's almost like you're mocking the issue, and you're sitting here saying, oh, what's the issue? What's the problem? And the thing is, I think at the end of the day, people need to recognize that there is a problem, right? I don't have any solutions, and I'm not here to give solutions. But I think at the end of the day, we have to recognize that, there can be some disparities, throughout the culture. Now, the other thing that I also had a problem with too is if you have a problem with somebody, there is a way to address that person. Right. And I can sit here and say, for me personally, if you sit here and came to me and said, hey, Mo, you know what? There are some things about the Monday Midsole show I'm not too fond of. Here are some suggestions. Cool. If you come at me saying, your show is a piece of shit, Mo, and I don't give a F about your show, I'm going to take that the wrong way. And so the thing is, I'm not defending this girl at all, but people have to understand that you're going to get better results, and people are going to take your words more to heart the way you deliver it, right? If you're going to sit here, if you got some issues with somebody, cussing at them and saying you're sucking on this and this, that, and the third, that's not the way to get your message across. And the problem is a lot of people will get on social media and they start posting out of emotions, and you yourself look bad. Right? I get where you're coming from. There's an issue, but people have to understand that if you want to be taken seriously, your opinion or viewpoint, you gotta reel it in. Don't post off emotions, because you look just as bad.
Right. I've posted off emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody feels attacking me. Like, a year ago, I would have been wilding out, because people was coming at me. I was like, yo, did I disrespect anybody? No. I was trying to give somebody another aspect of what's being interpreted out there, because there's people that are looking at these comments and they're feeling a certain type of way, like they don't belong within the culture. And that's what I really had the problem with. It didn't have anything to do with this girl. I don't know this girl at all. However, I still think that it's a problem when people are able to get behind, hey, they don't belong or whatever like that. And then people might say, hey, I didn't say anything about that. But in that post, and the reason why things escalated to where they were is because there were some things in there that were exclusionary.
There were some comments about it, but I think, like we mentioned before, right? We go on social media and we talk about certain things. I think one of the big points that was missed because of all of this was that Complex Sneakers, are you showcasing women of color in the sneaker game?
Okay,
and I understand
Let me interject real quick. So, where's that energy toward Complex? Just in general, all right. Let's shoot the situation separately. Everyone still follows Complex, Soul Collector, people, watching Full Size Run, whatever the case may be. If there's an issue with the brand, and there was, clearly an issue prior to that, needs to be addressed and brought up with the brand, and that needs to be vocalized, right? Like, so I'm unfollowing, posts about unfollowing, no representation, like that energy needs to be put out there as well. Like, and that should be the lead if we're worried about inclusion.
Right. I mean, and here's another thing. Like, if we have a problem with somebody in the future, then why aren't we talking to that person rather than reposting it and posting screenshots? And I mean, what's the win from that? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a conversation with someone, they don't like you want to post them all over the place? Like, I mean, there's people that said stuff about me. Somebody, was talking about like me being a sellout because my wife is white or whatever, and it's funny to me because I know who I am and they don't know who I am. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, people can say, if you don't stick up for all women, don't stick up for any. But that doesn't make any sense to me.
One of the things that I took away from it is, if you want to address somebody, especially somebody especially somebody on a show you watch, address that person personally. And right. None of us have ever been where we wouldn't. I mean, half of y'all in the chat have my phone number. Half of y'all have Kev's phone number. So if you have an issue, reach out to them.
Yeah,
because there's been things I've seen things from a lot of people that I don't agree with, and I don't go and I don't post it on social media. I've actually reached out to a lot of people in the chat when I've seen things that they've done. And I've also defended in the chat before as well. I've come on their post when they were beefing with somebody and came on and defended them as well. So have that same respect for somebody who you're supposed to respect. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of thing that you want from us. You want us to respect you. You have to respect us. And there's a better way that things could have been done from the top all the way into the last post. Everything could have been done in a better way. And I'm kind of, I was kind of hurt by some of the things I saw, even though none of it was directed towards me. I was hurt towards all the back and forth and all the comments that were made about other people, about Kev, about anybody. You know what I'm saying? And because it's not necessary. Speak to Kev. You have access to Kev. If you have an issue with Kev, go to Kev, period. Don't post stuff. I've been the victim of that several times where my name has been added and tagged on social media. And a few years ago, I suffered because of it. And people started looking at me a certain way. Right. And now Kev is going through the same thing where people are looking at him a certain way. And it's been things that have been posted about other people who folks started looking at them as well as their business a certain way. So you got to think about that, because we all have brands. You know what I'm saying? And when you go and you talk about somebody, if I go and I talk about Kustoo, who's been our guest on here, if I go and say some bad things about him on social media, I have loyal followers who are going to be just like, oh, he's talking about Kustoo. That's Polos and J's. That's my guy. I'm not going to rock with Kustoo anymore because Polos and J's don't rock with him. Right. You can't do that, especially when we have been invited open to anything, any criticism that you have. Come to us and speak on it instead of putting it out there on social media, asking for an audience.
Right. I'm going to try to put a bow on this. We can definitely have like another.
I'm done with it. Hey, honestly,
off-cycle show to elaborate, but I just want to be respectful of everyone's time and whatnot. I guess, my thing is about inclusion, right? So like the one aspect about the sneaker community that whatever community is left in culture is that it encompasses all walks of life. And if you think of like the evolution and just the different aspects of the culture, whether it be like skateboarding, basketball, dad shoe now, and high end, like there's so many different facets, nuances, and niches that are built into the fabric. It includes everyone. You know what I mean? If you think of, we're all Nike guys, right? Nike started with Phil Knight. That's a track shoe. You know what I mean? So like things evolve, and I think we have to remember just to be more inclusive, open-minded. It doesn't give anyone a pass to be ignorant or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, as people, let's be bigger, let's be open-minded, and just be better overall.
All right. Hey, I'm done with the topic. You know, like, I'm not gonna, comment on the people that may post or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. You know, I'm done talking about it, but
yeah, don't. I gotta be like, what they say? What they?
No, man. I mean, I'm just like, like people brought my wife into it, and that shut the door for me. Like, if you want to say something, you can DM me personally, but I'm not gonna get on. You can write posts or whatever about me, and you and your followers can go ham. That's cool, but.
So, Jacques, now that you have heard us, I know this is the first time that you are kind of hearing about the subject. I mean, I'm sure that you have experience in this career, whether it's race or gender and things like that, difficulties. Like, how have you handled it, or what suggestions do you have, in the world that you're in, on how to handle these kind of disparities, really?
I learned very early on that you can't control what somebody else does, but you can control what you do and how you react to it. So for me, again, I definitely need to find out more about this and do a little bit more research into this. So for me,
Doc, you sound a little bit far. A few people have said that in the chat.
Bud?
Oh, did I bud? Hold on. Is this better? 1, 2, 1, 2. Test 1. Is that better? No?
I can hear you.
No?
I can hear you.
All right, let me put my stuff on mute so we can really hear you.
Is this better?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Better.
And keep it on mute permanently. You're good.
All right. Is this louder now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess for me, the educating somebody is probably the best avenue that I try to take. What they do with that information, you can't control. It's very much like raising, like planting a tree. You can plant the seed and you can water it, but you can't guarantee that it's going to grow, and you can't guarantee what it's going to grow into or how it's going to grow. All you can do is plant the seed and do your part to educate and provide someone with the information they need so that they don't make that same mistake again. So for me, in situations like this, I try to control my part of it by doing what I can to help the situation, to not escalate the situation, de-escalate the situation however I can, provide insight as to why I'm feeling a certain way about what was done or what was said, and then letting that seed be planted and doing what I can. After that, after I've given you the information, after I've given you the power to change, whether you elect to change is not something that I have control over. Right. And that's not something that I can even stress myself out about. Because when I do stress myself out about that, what I'm doing is I'm giving you a power over me. And that's something that I definitely can't do. I can't give you power over me. So what, if anything, I'm going to teach you, say, hey, this is how it's supposed to be doing it. And if you decide not to follow that instruction or continue down that same path, I have to elect to say either, yes, I'm going to deal with that and deal with that ignorance, or I'm going to walk away from it because it's not something that I need to be a part of. So for me, the best way to deal with it is to teach and pray that they change. But if they don't let that determine my mood or determine how I feel about something, because I need to be strong enough and powerful enough in what I'm doing and who I am that I don't need to follow that.
Oh, that's a gem. Message.
Wise words.
I agree. Educate.
All right.
Well, listen.
Wind this
yeah,
joint down.
Absolutely. So, I mean, first and foremost, I just want to thank Jacques for coming in and spending some time with us again. It's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I honestly, I really appreciate it. I didn't know you guys were so mean to each other. I don't remember that from the last time I was on here. This time, there's so much anger in the room. I want to suggest that you all get therapy, maybe a group session, and you talk about what's going on between you.
Get a moderator.
So angry at each other. Get a moderator.
Hey, I didn't say anything.
I don't understand so much pain. There's so much pain in the room, but I love it. No, but seriously, thank you guys for having me on. Definitely appreciate it. Always a good time. Yes. You guys are the best at what you do. So and thank you for letting me be a part of it for this show.
Appreciate that, man. And we may need a Get Lucky 2.0 with all the bots and everything.
I'm down.
Not much has changed since 2013.
Yeah, can we get in on it?
That's very true. I got to find the right song, but let's do something. I've been itching to do another one.
All right,
there it is. Usual suspects. Want to thank you as always for joining us. I know we ran a little over here, but appreciate you spending another quarantine Monday with the Midsole crew.
Absolutely.
I just want to express my gratitude and enjoyed kicking it with you guys. Nicole, thanks again for spending another Monday with us, and looking forward. Everyone have a safe, productive week, and I'll pass it along.
All right, Nicole.
I'll go. Thank you again, guys, for having me. I think this is 7th week or so, and the snaps get even better. So I'm always looking forward to this. But I'm Rican Power Girl on IG, and I'm one of the co-owners for the society. We also do cleaning there. We have the Soul Wash, and so come follow us. And again, I feel like I'm putting in plugs, but I am. I will be on the battle for Jimmy Jazz, so definitely vote for me. We'll be putting that up soon. My first battle ever, so I'm pretty nervous.
You good? You got kicks.
But you got a whole store of kicks,
right?
And I know. I was like,
you got a size 13, like.
She's gonna be showing it way back here, so it looks like her size.
And I'll pass it on to Miss Molisha.
Damn.
Moisha.
You know
what? Hey, we need that Photoshop, dog.
After the show coming up is the Parkers.
You know what? I'm in a good mood. We had a good episode, so I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna sit back and be quiet. You might get Photoshop later, but right now you safe for right now. So
yo, she got you there, bro.
She got me there. I ain't gonna lie. I'm stunned. I ain't even got nothing to say. Really. Back to her. But Jacques, thanks for coming on. I said this before. If you weren't, I think you're probably the best guest as far as when I've been on. The personality is just, your personality, your energy. I mean, it's just, you're natural. So, I appreciate you for taking time out of your schedule to join us. As always, appreciate the rest of the panel for keeping me grounded throughout the week. The great conversation, just, keeping me going. So that's definitely a plus. Thank you to the chat for tuning in. As always, without you guys, there is no us. So, as always, appreciate you for joining. And also, I got some things. It's been very stressful, but a lot of things are coming. Some upgrades are coming to the app. So I'm very excited about that. Things should be wrapping up probably mid to end of May. So definitely some things that are going to be some changes coming to the app. So, just keep reaching out. And once those things come through, I will loop you in. So thank you for your support as always. And with that, I'll kick it over to hey.
Moesha's gearing up for a reboot. All right.
With that, I'll kick it over.
All right, I'll take over. Jacques, man, definitely appreciate you coming on. You are truly an inspiration and like a benchmark to look to, like to aspire to. So, man, definitely appreciate the gems that you dropped on everybody today. My brothers and sister. Definitely this guy.
Wow.
This guy.
Damn, I thought I was gonna escape.
My brothers and my sister, definitely appreciate you guys for having my back. For everything that had gone down, and you guys pretty much handled everything behind the scenes. I'm sure. I'm not going to get into, what we just talked about, and I'm not going to talk about it any further. I just hope that we can progress as a culture together, and we can, make opportunities for one another. So I will go ahead and do my shout outs, and definitely appreciate everybody for joining the show, whether you agree or you don't. It's good to have everybody's perspective. But let me go ahead and hit the shout outs here, if I can make it work. First of all, we got the son of some man, Ed. Then we got an Unbox app. Make sure you guys go ahead and download the app. Dre Day Kicks, Sneaker Box, KY Souls, Mike, Hella Lace, Dominican Coqui, KB Fresh Kicks, D-Lo 1014, D-Lo, Footage Society. Make sure you guys go ahead and, check them out and get your shoes cleaned and whatnots. Bama Drian.
Yep.
I am Lars Young. Make sure you guys, check Lars out, man. He's always. I think Lars needs to connect with Kustoo, man, because Lars has that desire to do everything that you're doing, and I think that he would benefit a lot from some of your expertise. So if that could happen,
we talk on Twitter every once in a while.
Okay, yeah, but he's definitely. I know that where his aspirations are, and I think that you guys could. You might be able to help him out.
Okay. Absolutely.
But, and DJ Mel B, Big Boy Sneaks 43, J Soul, and that's it. And I know there's some people that shout the show out on the show channel. Appreciate you guys too. I just go off the ones that put at Buckeye City. So, but thank y'all. Oh man. And here we go. I'm gonna go and pass it.
Wow.
To Andy DeFriend.
Wait a minute. I mean, y'all didn't give Jacques a chance to shout out anything or plug anything before he goes.
Oh, my bad. Let's go,
By all
Jacques.
means.
Oh no, I don't need to plug anything. If anything, you guys make sure you pay attention to the show. This is one of the this is one of the best sneaker shows out there. Y'all make sure y'all follow these guys that are doing incredible work. I don't need you to follow me. I ain't nobody. Pay attention to Monday Midsole. This is where it's at.
The humbleness of this guy.
I know.
Appreciate that, and we're gonna use that as a sound bite.
Yes. On the next intro.
But no, for real, Jacques, man, we appreciate you. You're one of the guys that I look up to in the industry. I mean, you create the best content. Your shows are just like it's like watching fucking CNN or something, man. When you watch you, because the production is so well done. I mean, I'm serious. It's so well done.
What's popping?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're a true inspiration to a lot of us, and I have the utmost respect for you. I really do. Thank you. To the rest of the panel, appreciate y'all, my brothers and my ugly sister. Yeah, we had a long week. We had a long week together, but y'all did nothing but show love, and I appreciate y'all. In the chat, appreciate you as well. I mean, y'all come through here every week and y'all show us love. Sometimes y'all show us a little hate because we got thumbs down up in there, but that's all good too. These topics that we had, we can still discuss those later on at another time. I'm always open to give my opinion and discuss things. Y'all know that I'm very opinionated. But one thing I just want to say, just show people the same respect that you expect from others. That's all I can say. And with that, much love. We see y'all next Monday. Peace.
Stay safe. Be well.